Hello everybody, welcome back. This is your English teacher Alex, and today is May 12th of 2020. So last week what we did was we finished Unit 8, which was about work. So our focus for today is, our focus for this week is to review Unit 7 and Unit 8 all together in more details, okay? But for today's video, we're going to only review Unit 7, and in May 14th, so this Thursday, we're gonna review Unit 8, okay? So let's begin with Unit 7 review. So I'm just gonna go slowly for when we're reviewing Unit 7. So Unit 7 was about grocery shopping, right? And there are many vocabs that we learn, but let's just go over them together. So for vocabs, we have a cashier, and a stock clerk. And you know, those are not just vocab, we can call them an occupation or a job, right? Which is kind of related to Unit 8, so you can be a cashier, a stock clerk. These are names of an occupation that you would have at a grocery store. Shopping cart, pretty easy. Receipt, things, that's what we get after we purchase items. And then just to show what we purchased or what we bought and how much it cost and the price. And with the tax and everything. Aisle, this is important, aisle. So aisle is a narrow space between the shelves of a store, or so if you go into the store, you know, there are many sections, or the store is arranged in many different ways. We're gonna get into it, but remember, aisle is a long, narrow space between the two shelves. Shelves where there are a bunch of products, okay? I'll get into it later. And a checkout counter, that's where the register is, where the cashiers ask you to put the products or items that you're going to purchase on the checkout counter. In stock, out of stock. In stock means that, so it means that item is available at the store. And then the opposite would be out of stock, is not available. So if it's out of stock, a stock clerk, a person who restocks the items that are missing, would usually fill it out the next day. And the refund. If there are items that you're not satisfied, or you don't like, or you don't need anymore, you can refund them. But in order to refund them, you need to have a receipt, because this is a proof of you purchasing that particular item. So a cashier, a stock clerk is a name. They are names of occupation that you could have at a grocery store. This is important. Aisle is a narrow gap or space between the shelves. Okay, because the stores are divided and sectioned into aisles. That's why I want you to remember it. And then that's about it for vocabs. And let's now go to sections. And do you guys remember? So when you go into a grocery store, grocery store is actually arranged in different parts. So, you know, there are sections where we go to buy milk. There are sections that we go to buy meat. There are sections where we go to buy vegetable, fruits. All those sections actually have names, okay? So, so those sections, I listed some of the sections, and then you should already know, because we review them in Unit 7. couple weeks back, but I'm gonna go over it again. So we have sections such as produce section, deli section, bakery section, dairy section, frozen section, ethnic, international section, and general merchandise. So produce section, the name of produce section, it means fresh. It's a section where they sell fresh vegetables and fresh fruits. And then vegetables include such as carrots, broccolis, lettuce, and then tomatoes. For fruits, we have bananas, apples, mangoes, peaches. Those are fresh produce. So we call so vegetables and fruits are in a section called produce section. So deli section is where they sell sliced meats and cheese. So it's specifically for sandwich most of the time. Yeah, it's in America there's a deli section, and that's where they sell ingredients for sandwiches. And then there's also salad. And then we have a bakery section. We have bread, cakes, muffins, and bagels. Dairy section, we have milk, butter, cheese, yogurt. So usually for dairies section, so milk, so dairy is where we have food items that are made with animal milk, right? But nowadays we have many different kinds of milk, not just from animals, but from like plant or plant. So for example, we have almond milk, right? They're not made of animals, but they're made from almond. But the dairy actually means, as I said before, dairy section is actually for food items made from animal milk, but you should be able to find almond milk in this section as well. And then so with butter, cheese, and yogurt for here. Frozen. So frozen section is where we can buy ice cream, frozen pizza. So any pre-cooked food. So you know how they have frozen nuggets, frozen meals. That's where you're gonna find them. And then we have ethnic and international section. And as it says here, ethnic means it's similar to international. It means some food items that we can't usually get from U.S. or see in U.S. So I wrote it here: ingredients, foods, items from different country. So usually we go to grocery store to buy American food, but we're not going to be able to find like Korean food or items from Korea or Japan, China, or India, or Spain, Mexico. This is the section that we want to go to. Here I wrote it as a section, but sometimes you can also find it in an aisle. So there are going to be signs. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows what an aisle is. So as I explained before, there are two shelves, and then between there is a space, and then so this is where you're gonna walk down the aisle to see the items that you want to purchase. And there's always a sign on top, and then it says aisle number 6 or aisle number 13. That's how they divide into certain section, or certain aisle for you to purchase items. So usually there are sections, but it could be an aisle where they have international or ethnic food items. And then we finally have general merchandise section. This is where you just buy drugs for like pills, painkillers, and then household and personal items. So shampoo, lotion, those kind of things. So here we have a total of 7 sections that I talked, 7 sections here. But I mean, there are more. I just can't There are more, but I think this is the most general one. And so I hope you remember that. And now let's go back to let's talk about price. So we have 3 different signs. This is a dollar sign, this is a cent sign, and this is a pound sign. So it is important that we know how to pronounce them, or how to read these prices correctly. So here we have a dollar sign and one here, .29. So this is here I underlined, this is a section where we let's go back here. So this period is where we divide between the dollar and a cent. So this is where we're gonna say we're gonna have dollars, and then this is where we're gonna have cents. So here's 1.29. So how do we read this? We say $1.29. So it's important to notice that. Oh, before that. So sorry. So there are 3 ways of saying this. So $1.29. Another way is $1 and same thing, 29 cents. And finally we have 129. So the shortest form is the last one here, 129. So it's either you when you say the price, you either include the units. So we have the dollar or the cents unit, or we don't include them. So here we have a dollar and we have cents. Same thing here. But here we don't have any, we don't say $1. We just take out the dollar and we take out the cents. So we take out the unit. And another thing you need to see is that here is $1. So it's a single. There's only $1. So here we don't need to have an S, right? So for example, if it was $20, then we're gonna say $20. There's going to be a letter S added to the dollar. And then here we have 29 cents. So that's why we have the letter S right here. Right there. Okay? So it's important to be cautious of if it's a single or plural. So here, if it's a there's only $1, so it's a $1, or we can say $1. But if it's more than $1, then we have to add a letter S to the dollar. Okay. Second. Okay, so here I have more examples. So now here we have a dollar sign, and then in order to read this, remember, period is here to divide between the dollar and the cent. So then we can read that as $21.01 or 21.01. Here, dollar is plural here, so we have to have a letter S. But there's only 1 cent, so we don't need to have a S here. So $21.01, 21.01. And now we have here dollar sign, but we have 0 for the dollar, and then we have 39 cents. And a different way, this is exactly the same as just writing 39 cents with this cents symbol right here. Same thing, right? And then here we just say 39 cents. 39 cents. You don't say $0.39. You don't ever say that, okay? If it's not there, you just don't say it. So we can just say 39 cents. And now we're gonna read the price with a different unit called pound. A pound is something like we use for measuring weight, right? How heavy it is. And then we see a lot of that in the store where we buy like when we're buying vegetables, for example, or fruits. It's like they price it with the unit pound. So here, let's just read the dollar part, the dollar and cent part first, the price. So it'd be $7.75, and here a dollar is not a single, so it's more than $1. So you have to have the letter S. It's more than 1 cent. You have to say 75 cents. And then in shortened form, we can say 7.75, where we take out we don't say the dollar and the cent. But we need to now talk about this part, pound. Pound. So how do we read it together? We say, so for example, it could be $7.75 a pound, or $7.75 per pound. So there's not much difference. A pound and per pound is pretty much same. And then, or you could say $7.75 a pound, $7.75 per pound. So A and per. I think that's it for the price. And finally, some useful phrases when you go grocery shopping. For example, when you go to grocery store, there are items that you want to buy or purchase, but sometimes you can't find them. So you have to ask a stock clerk or a cashier or anyone that works at the grocery store, right? So then you would say, "Excuse me, where can I find," or you can say vegetables, or you can say apples. You can say, "Where can I find a milk?" Let's say a milk. Find milk. Where can I find milk? And then the other person would, the employee would tell you where it is. Oh, so excuse me, where can I find milk? If I was an employee, I could say, oh, it's in the dairy section. Dairy section. So remember, when they say dairy section, as I mentioned, is where you can buy any food items that are made from animal milk, which include yogurt, cheese, milk, and what's the other one? Yogurt, cheese, milk. Am I missing something? But anyway, so dairy section, right? So then another question is, let's say you're finding some other items. So what about, let's say, milk tea? Does everyone know what milk tea is? Milk tea. So I said, so people usually, dairy section is usually where you are going to find different types of milk, right? So as I said, dairy means where you purchase items made from animal milk, but we can also find maybe almond milk, which is based on plant. It's plant-based milk. But here, milk tea is a type of tea, but it's not really made with milk. It's a tea that you add a little bit of milk at the end. So here, could we find milk tea in a dairy section? I don't know. But let's say, because it's a milk tea, I'm gonna ask, what about milk tea? So first I asked about, hey, excuse me, where can I find milk? And then the employee said, oh, it's in the dairy section. And then I'm gonna ask, oh, what about milk tea? Will I find it in the dairy section? So this here, you can put any location. So, and it could be section or it could be aisle, right? And then, so for milk tea, the person could say, Oh, yes, you can also find milk tea in the dairy section, or no, you won't be able to find the milk tea in the dairy section. It's actually in aisle 8. Aisle 8. So, as I said before, sometimes grocery store, there are items that are usually located in some place very odd. So, because I said all the milk's going to be in the dairy section, doesn't mean all types of milk, you're not going to be able to find all types of milk there, okay? So this is some of the ways you can ask. And then finally we have, so we know that that item is in this section, or this aisle, aisle number 7, aisle number 6, or produce section, deli section, or whatever. Now, we have to ask them how to get there, right? Then we say, can you tell me where the dairy section is? Can you show me where the dairy section is? So if you say tell, they're going to give you a direction. If you say show, they're going to actually take you there. So one more time. Can you tell me where the dairy section is? Or you can say, can you tell me where aisle 7 is? Or aisle 8, aisle 11, whatever. Or can you show me where the dairy section is? Or can you show me where aisle 7 is? Right? And then, here, yeah, those are the useful phrases. And then what I want to show here is, so aisle, so what do you, between aisles, what we usually see, or the items that they usually sell are bottled drinks, canned goods, and dry goods. So here I wrote, if you don't know what goods are things that can be sold. So we call it, so here, canned goods. It means that any food items that are in a can. So it could be beans, soup, right? What else are in in a can? It could be, we have canned fish, right? Canned vegetables. And then here, also then here, dry goods are anything that are dry. So we have pasta, we have rice, uncooked rice, sorry. What else is dry? We have snacks, chips, right? Those are dry, right? So, yeah, this is another vocab that will be good to know. So, yeah. So it really depends on the grocery store. They can arrange however they want, right? But that each, so when we go into grocery store, we're gonna look for, you know that it's divided into sections and aisles. So as I said, we have produce section, deli section, frozen section, we have more general merchandise section, international section. There are many sections. And it's also divided into many aisles, right? There's some food items it's really hard to categorize, right? So once you go into the store, you're going to usually ask what the food item or where can I find that item is, and then they're going to tell you it's in aisle 7 or it's going to be in this it's going to be in the produce section, and then you're going to have to ask them, can you tell me where that location is, or can you show me? That's what you want to use. And then so this is part 1 of today's video, and we're going to continue reviewing Unit 7. So, thanks for watching.